one of a best of 5 grand final here today in the Kung Fu Cup. To the top right hand side, we're starting off with the red Protoss player. Give it up, guys, if you're cheering on PartinG. And to the bottom left hand side, our blue Protoss player from Scythe Esports is Zest. Has been looking deadly in PvP, looked so good against stats earlier. Excited to see what he brings to the grand final. Wardy, would you become the Christmas tree? I mean, what are you offering for me to become a Christmas tree? I'm gonna look up Christmas tree outfits. Christmas tree outfit. Okay, kids. Oh, there we go. Well, that's actually not bad. That's actually pretty great. How much do I have to pay for Woody to hang a rift bush on himself? Like $10. Hey guys, what about this though? Look at this. Do we need that? How much do we need to make Wardy cast as a Christmas tree? That actually might be the next level meme. That actually might just be too brilliant to say no to. Holy shit. Wardy, sexy Christmas tree broadcast. And we're casting the WardiTV Christmas Invitational soon. And there is stretch goals for the Christmas Invitational. We could do something. We could make something interesting happen. Wardy can be bought and his prices are somewhat reasonable. I'm not against the idea. I'm not against selling out. If I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not against selling out. Wardy can be bought. What was I going to read? I don't know what I was going to read. Wardy, do you have a girlfriend? Yeah. It's called the Sexy Christmas Tree. Ay. I'd make such a sexy Christmas tree. Maybe if the Christmas Invitational goes well, or if we do some sort of sub goal or something that we can agree on as a community, I'd be down. I'd be down to get the Christmas tree outfit. That'd be great, I think. Can you imagine? I just turn this stream on and I am the Christmas tree. These are so dumb. Oh dear, alright. Hallucinated Phoenix from Zest. Now this hidden away Stargate is down. We do see an Oracle starting to come across the map. PartinG looking to really apply some pressure alongside these Adepts. He's gone up to 4 Adepts here in total. Really nothing much from Zest. He will see the lack of tech or anything really in this main, so we'll start to figure out that something is a little bit funky here, and obviously while the Oracle flies in, so you'll know pretty quickly that it is a Stargate at least. So pushed away with only 1 worker killed. Now the Adepts come up into the main though, and this is where they can definitely get damage done because it takes so long to clean these Adepts out. Extra probes going down, the Oracle comes back in, never turned its pulsar beam off. And as we are going to be seeing these Adepts actually having a pretty great time, and PartinG in game number 1 is going to put himself into one hell of a position. His Nexus might be a little bit later, but for the 9 worker lead that he's created, I'd say that's pretty okay. He starts up a Void Ray as well, knowing how important it will be to get something out here. Zest doesn't know just how close he is to shutting down that Stargate and stopping that from being something that can help Zest help PartinG to defend here as he sets up Stalkers for the counterattack. Man, a couple of Stalkers run over here to get this pylon, but then Zest gets a couple of shots off already. Does Zest just go across the map with everything though? What's the plan here? In the long run, we see some Stalkers coming in to apply some pressure. Zest now building 2 probes at a time. He is starting to catch up on that work account. It's starting to be a little bit less of a issue than it initially seemed like it would be. 2 more Stalkers come across. That means 2 are left at home to defend and deflect Oracles. As now Zest does find this Stargate, so he is going to be able to pick off this pylon. The Stalker gets picked off right there. So here we go, pushing in the Void Ray. Cancels its prismatic alignment so it can move back more easily. Means it does less damage as well, though the Oracle, one of them went down too. We'll still get a kill on this Stalker. Zest just trying to trade as best he can. Trying to get the other Oracle here, but will not quite be able to do that either, as we have got the Robo facility on the way up in the main base. Stalkers coming through the center of the map. Some Stalkers from Zest up to the top side as well. And, yeah, I mean, a few more Stalkers still gathering together. Bottom left-hand side as well. Oracle still moving around here. Forge on the way up from PartinG, realizing he's still in a decent position, trying to take that into the next level, but this counter-attack from him is not good, and the Stalkers coming in from the side means that PartinG will struggle to get away from this. We'll lose a lot of Stalkers in this process, and that's a really good trade-off from Zest, who's now only 2 workers behind, and PartinG still has advantages such as having the Forge, such as having the Robo up as well. These are things which Zest is still playing without, and that's why Zest's been able to not only catch up on worker count, but stay competitive in the army units. But also, obviously, this changes a lot, because now we're going to start seeing PartinG taking a tech advantage, an upgrade advantage, and Zest does something drastic. He drops double Stargate. How interesting. Mass up some Phoenix here, maybe some... I don't know, actually. I mean, it's going to come really out of nowhere. Because, I mean, who expects a double Stargate after the way that this game has gone? I mean, I would say pretty much nobody. Oracle trying to come in from the top side, and will drop a Revelation onto a few of these units that just sit around in the natural expansion. A few of those Stalkers seen pretty swiftly there. Oracle pulling back up through the top, and meanwhile, a couple of Phoenix on the way up from Zest as well. Again, just getting in towards that Stargate play, but again, PartinG's not doing any scouting towards that main just yet. Now the Oracle changes more towards that main base direction, and hasn't been able to truly see it yet still, though. Hallucinated Phoenix comes across to try and scout. PartinG's going to throw down Resonating Glaives and a bunch more gates, and I wonder if he's just going to try and win this game with like an Immortal Adept push. I think he will. +1, Warp Prism on the way up, Sentries warp it in. It's actually kind of funny, because I actually think the Phoenix are going to be really good against this. Surprisingly good against this, as this Oracle being denied further vision, information. Information denied, more Phoenix still on the way up, Zest. I really like this for Zest, actually. Like, I really think this is getting into a very somewhat possible position. Hallucinated Phoenix will go forwards. These Phoenix here, the real ones, are going to find the Warp Prism. They will commit for it, and the damaged Phoenix pulls back. Very good control from Zest so far. Now he jumps in towards the main base, where he has a little bit of a look around, and will find himself a couple of pros, but I honestly don't think you want to be lifting up workers here. I think you want to be lifting up army units, even if it is just these Adepts. These are units which have been taken out of the potential fight across the map, so it's very important. It will actually go a long way. Zest sets up a full wall off to stop these Adepts from shading in as easily. Obviously, one of the big issues is these Immortals as well, but maybe that's where the Phoenix can also come into play. These Phoenix spread out, and they're going to find the new Warp Prism. This is really nice. He's denying PartinG from warping in and, you know, running across the map to reinforce. So this is really slowing PartinG's attack down. Another Warp Prism picked off, really putting these units to, these Phoenix to use. I mean, it's great, right? Because the Phoenix obviously wanted to be put in a position like that one. And they've got used in the perfect way. Sentry's going to get lifted here. You can get rid of those very quickly. Force fields will now not really be able to be used as an Archon comes in. And Archon's a really good setup against the Adept. The splash damage goes a huge way, and this is a hold from Zest, isn't it? And what a hold it's going to be. With the Immortal lifted in the skies, it'll drop back down, and its barrier will activate. But now both the barriers are activated on the Immortals. We see the Archon going down. Zest is not quite held on yet, but it is getting very, very close. A couple more units warping in. Those Phoenix really just want to try and well, get those Immortals back in the sky again. Those Zealots start charging in there. The force field comes down. The Adept's still charging forwards. This still might just be enough from PartinG. The Phoenix are going to have energy again in a moment. Another Archon shows up. A couple of Zealots getting in front. Shield Barrier keeping the Archon alive for a while. The Phoenix will get rid of one of the Immortals here. The other Immortal lifted up now as well. And now there's not really much left from PartinG. If this Immortal goes down, which it will. God damn, what a hold from Zest. Zest gets his own +1 now. And, ooh, but the Adepts in the main base, he can't respond to them because the Archon's blocking the way. Get out of the way, you chubby Archon. You are too large at the moment, so you need to get out of the way. Wow, what a hold on by Zest, though. Really, really impressive. This was actually sick. This is actually really sick. Like, I don't know how to explain it even better, any further to you guys. This is so good. Really solid play. I mean, how do you even defend this after being in the position you were in? After taking so much damage earlier. Wow. I mean, I kind of like the Phoenix. I thought they were cool. And the denying the Warp Prism was absolutely essential to cause the Warp Pins to be even longer. And to kind of slow them down. But even then, it was still very close. And it's still, Zest was able to micro it correctly. Phoenix energy comes back up. And as soon as it does, boom, Immortals are lifted. And that's game changing. This Archon here is actually going to struggle to get out of the main node. Because there is also not any Robos. There's no Warp Prism. That is a minor issue here at the moment. Thank you so much, Blacksmith Kamuri, for the 4-month resub. Hell yeah, more Kung Fu Code. Thanks for the great cast. Thank you so much for the 4 months for putting on the Christmas tree after the game. And JSol44, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Give me some love in the chat for JSol. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime subscribing. Appreciate it. Some love in the chat for JSol as well, guys. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Phoenix across the map. Get a couple of probe kills, though, getting this underway. And the probe getting lifted, taken down pretty quickly. Zest now has the Archons, and it feels like he's starting to get the army. He can really fight. In the end, he just killed this gateway. Still, PartinG's not in a terrible position. It's interesting, isn't it? Hawk Empire, thank you so much for subscribing as well. Also get you on the tree after this game. Thank you so much for the love, guys. A little bit of a choo-choo sub-train. Let's go. You know, you're right. I'm not going to disagree PartinG isn't in a terrible position, but I still don't mind it. I kind of like it for Zest still, I think. I mean, you have charge against Glaze, basically, is what it's going to come down to somewhat. The Phoenix still in play as well. Can lift up a Mortal, maybe. Take that out of position. Zest is a bit later. Yeah, you know, maybe I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself on Zest. I'm just very impressed that Zest held on in the first place, I guess. And I'm maybe letting that kind of carry me forwards too much. You guys are right to bring me back to Earth a little, because you're right, PartinG's army is still good, and he's going to go for wave 2 of this. Zest might be able to get +2 up, which would help. See, right now, PartinG will have to spend some time killing off these rocks. Zest on this high ground will not let PartinG come up here very easily, so... Let's see these rocks getting taken down. 7 gates to 8. PartinG has a slight advantage there. +2 is going to finish, though, and Zest is going to have an extra upgrade over his opponent. And the question really does become... Adepts versus Zealots, and of course with Sentries and Force Fields we saw it in the previous game. Force Fields can really mess up those Zealots while the Adepts will still benefit from it, but with Archons in play it could be very different. There is a lot of Archons here from Zest. He's got 5 against 3. A hallucinated Archon here as well. A few hallucinated Archons going to try and cause some chaos, and you know what? It might work because there's no Observer from Zest. He has no idea that those are fake right now. And here we go, he gets into this, and already Archons are, well, dealing some, soaking up some damage. Got the word there in the end. The Phoenix lifted up the Immortal, though. Archons of Zest have to pull back. Those hallucinations are almost gone. They're still in the front, though. And these Archons are going to do so much splash damage to these Adepts. That's the big thing. That's the big issue for PartinG. Especially with +2 attack. There's a lot of potential here. Here comes a Warp Prism from Zest. That micro potential really going to be increasing. As, again, the Archons, if they're kept alive, will do so much against these Adepts. And you'll see the army of PartinG starting to fall away a little bit. These Archons and the micro will make this another hold from Zest here. Not just a hold, but a complete cleanup with a huge army supply advantage behind it. To the point where I think this is where Zest goes across the map, and he might just win this game. He dropped off a couple Archons he didn't really need to there. Oh, this Prism's going to get chased, and that's going to get a little bit awkward as well, as the Archon's chasing as well. Prism goes down, and PartinG is down to 4 army supply there just for a moment. Zest is playing absolutely stellar StarCraft 2 at the moment. He is doing absolutely everything he would like to. It's just going so well for him. Why isn't PartinG making Immortals? I don't even know if Immortals are a good choice here because of how the Phoenix can just lift them out of the fights. I don't know. I feel like right now the Archons are just a better way to go, and he has had to remake that Prism a few times because it keeps getting picked off. Now Zest, though, has the commanding army supply lead. Not only that, but the upgrade is there too, and PartinG knows it. Zest takes game number 1. Wow. Seeing this today, it's definitely not the most popular maps in the map pool. As we have to the top left-hand side, our red Protoss player. This is PartinG. Top right-hand side, our pink Protoss is going to be Sci-Fi Sports Zest. How are the brackets seeded? Is it random? It is pretty randomized. Usually, it seems to be, honestly, I'm pretty sure it's rigged so that there's always like a very good matchup in the very first round, such as today, Innovation versus Zest. It's sort of like, it's somewhat rigged, so some good players will meet each other early on, so that we have like good matches from the very start, because it just always happens. There's always like that one matchup that's really good. But otherwise, it is pretty much just random. I feel like it's not even rigged per se. I think it's just like it's completely randomized, and we just always get lucky and we get that one matchup. So, yeah. But it is pretty much just random. PartinG did indeed 2-0 Björn. Let's see what PartinG can do in this game number 2. I mean, he really was ahead in that last game. And the fact that Zest was able to create a defense, I mean, first of all, the double Stargate Phoenix only ended up making 4 Phoenix, but holy shit, were they complete game changers. They killed the first Prism, the second Prism. They lifted up Immortals at key times. They killed off some of the Adepts. It was insane how much they got done. Like, they were just so effective. It was really crazy. Like, really, really crazy. I can't get over it myself, even, to some extent. Man, what a game. I love StarCraft 2. You guys love StarCraft 2? I really do. By the way, I didn't forget about you guys who subscribed. I'll get you on the tree after this game, I would imagine. We'll get a couple of moments, probably. As you do see, just for the moment, some probe-on-probe action. Let's just jump onto someone who's observing while I write out decorations for the tree. Alright, well. This is actually interesting here because Zest goes for the full wall. PartinG goes for the full wall off on the low ground, which is generally the idea of trying to hide what's going on. So he goes 1 gate tech straight into the Stargate. Now going straight into the Stargate here, it does get very, very interesting, doesn't it? Means that obviously PartinG doesn't quite know what's going on, but Zest doesn't quite know what's going on. Zest will go for his own Stargate anyways, though. So still going to go into that here. And just going to go Oracle first as well from PartinG. I mean, if Zest just goes for Phoenix, he's immediately going to have a bit of an advantage in this. And already, it just might be looking very good here in game number 2. Listening, Phoenix comes across. We'll see the Stargate of Zest. Means he might just keep the Oracle hidden for a little bit until he can be sure that he'll be able to get damage done with it. There's that Sentry as well, doing a little bit of damage, trying to push away that hallucination. Obviously, Zest with his Stargate seen will have to go into a Phoenix, because now if it is going to be Stargate on Stargate, he knows that his opponent knows that too. So he has to go into a Phoenix here, Zest, which is the safer choice anyways when you don't really know what's going on. As we do see the Oracle of PartinG pulling back over to the left-hand side. Now Oracle joins up with a Phoenix here, so Oracle joins the Phoenix and a second Stargate from Zest already, realizing that this is going to go into a real kind of Phoenix on Phoenix battle. PartinG realizes it as well, and he starts to set up into his own second Stargate. There's a couple of different ways that this game can develop. I mean, already you could have maybe gone for a single Stargate and a bit of a gateway Phoenix push as the opponent invests into a second Stargate before they get value out of it. But even from the 2 Stargates, there's a lot of different ways you can go. You know, either you can go for the Fleet Beacon and go into Anti-Impulse Crystals, or you can go 3rd Stargate and just go into more Phoenix and try and hit a timing there. A few different choices, a few different ways of getting this set up. And you have the Phoenix moving around on this right-hand side. So a couple of Phoenix going to be joined up together. There is the Stargate of PartinG coming on in. It's just taking a little while to start up his Phoenix, though, and it's just little things like that that will mean that Zest gets just that little bit further ahead. He's already 4 Phoenix to 3, and his next 2 Phoenix are just that little bit faster than his opponent, so little things that are going to be taking an advantage as the hallucination of Zest comes all the way around. The left-hand side goes up in towards the main base, Has a good little scout. Oh, PartinG is going to lose a Phoenix there as well. So Zest not only had more Phoenix, he is also going to get a Phoenix kill, which puts him, again, now 2 Phoenix ahead. And look at the production times on the next Phoenix as well. That's now 3 Phoenix lead for Zest, and it's about to be a 4 Phoenix lead before this any more Phoenix finish from PartinG. So there's points here where Zest is currently doubling the Phoenix count of his opponent, and PartinG might just be in so much trouble, especially in a close-by air map. Oh, I love this shield battery, by the way. This is actually so sick. Zest's going to build a few shield batteries in the middle of the map. It's going to allow him to stay very aggressive with the Phoenix and pull back for healing. This is actually really sick. Fleet beacon from both players. They're both aiming for the Anion Pulse Crystals at Phoenix range. Looking to be their choice here. As we do have a couple of pylons coming up on the front of the natural. Oracle drops a Revelation, so PartinG will at least be able to see what he's fighting against at all points now. Again, there's that Anion Pulse Crystals coming through. PartinG going to be the first to drop down into the third Nexus. Hallucinated Phoenix to lead the charge in, and oh, it's going to tank some damage as the Phoenix of Zest will start to be able to get a few shots off. I think Zest really likes this fight for himself. There is a sentry and the Sork's on the low ground. Honestly, I mean, Zest comes in, he gets a few probe kills. I mean, Zest should also be able to just turn around, go heal up on the shield batteries, and come back in with full shield and just really turn this fight into his favor. Not sure why he isn't using the shield batteries. Now he's almost like, oh yeah, I do have these. I mean, this is amazing for him, right? Because he gets the full healing just like that, and now he just jumps in. And if he wins the Phoenix War, everything else on the ground just gets lifted up and killed so quickly. PartinG, there's a few too many things that went a little bit wrong for him, and in a Phoenix versus Phoenix battle, that is just way too much. Zest takes game number 2 of this best of. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I don't think he's here anymore, but Wurzak as well dropped by earlier, and he is currently Stream Legend, dropped the $110 donation. So he's currently Legend of the Stream at the moment. Shout out to that guy. Top left, our pink Protoss player is Cypher Esports Zest, going up against the red Protoss. To the bottom right hand side, this is PartinG. Down by 2. Going into more standard 2-gate apiece setup now. Can PartinG pull it back? Can he get a point on the board? Gotta get a second tree? No. That takes away the fun in it all. The point is to literally see if we can make the tree fall over. That is the goal. If you guys can't even make the tree fall over, then you guys useless. You can't make trees fall over in 2018. Get the Christmas tree costume and start hanging baubles off yourself. What do you guys think? What do you think is reasonable for the Christmas tree costume? Stretch goal on our Maturino page for the Christmas Invitational? Or some sort of a subscriber goal? What do you think? What do you guys reckon? Probe in the back of the Orion gets taken down here. And the Nexus from Zest gets dropped down as well. Stargate on Stargate again, so we might be seeing some more Phoenix versus Phoenix, but it depends just how the players do open. I'm really hoping PartinG gets a bit of an edge this game. I mean, then again, he had a bit of an edge in game 1. He wasn't able to close it out. $9, maybe $10 to wear a Christmas tree on stream. How cheap do you think I am? Aye. I think the outfit itself is like $10, guys. I want to do $10. Well, Stalker's on the way up. Phoenix coming in on either side and getting this ready to go. Hallucination picked up there, and it is going to be, again, Phoenix on Phoenix. A couple more Stalkers coming out from Zest. We'll see if that turns into some potential aggression, because he does have a good few gateway units up. Probe drops down the pylon, and those adepts are blocked off, and they actually go in towards the natural. Uh-oh. Well, at least one of these is going to be, adepts is going to be killed off here. As the adept will be targeted down. It will be able to shade, though, and it will actually shade away, so apologies. Here's me like, it's definitely going down. And Dadachi is able to get down the left-hand side and be alive. Twilight Council dropping in here from PartinG, so he's going to try and go for like the hidden DTs. Generally get a Dark Shrine up and just try and build the DTs, and just because there's not usually detection when you build a lot of Phoenix, as Zest is doing, you can definitely win your games very quickly sometimes. But it's kind of like a one-trick sort of thing. Like, you do it once in a series, and, you know, Zest will never really let it happen again. So, then again, when you're 0-2 down, you got to take any win you can get at the moment. And as this Adept still lifted up, is going to go down, so both Adepts do fall. Again, PartinG cutting at just the 3 Phoenix. Has no interest in going further. There's that Dark Shrine coming down as well. Hallucination down the left, Hallucination to the top left too. Both players trying to keep up to date with what's going on. This is actually pretty big here from Zest, because if you can see there's only 3 Phoenix and the Stargate's no longer producing, that might already be a pretty good sign for him as to what's happening here. Ah, what a fake out though. That's so great by PartinG. He starts up a Phoenix, the idea being that by starting a Phoenix, it looks like he's still going Phoenix. And he might still be going to some sort of Phoenix number, but it's definitely not only Phoenix, which is what Zest is maybe a little bit afraid of seeing. And Zest has seen kind of everything. He's decided to throw down a Robo, so he's obviously somewhat expecting something to go on here. He does have a little bit of a Phoenix advantage, but with the shield battery there, it's not going to happen, and now he actually loses a Phoenix too, so Zest unable to capitalize on that. He'll have to back away and hang out for a little bit more. More Phoenix coming over, and they are going to be jumping in to get rid of a few of these probes. There's a few probes going down. And a couple of DTs just on warp it in. So again, it's ready to go. The Robo is about to finish though, so Observer will be the build right away. And Zest is just so good, isn't he? He just knows everything. 2 DTs coming forwards, and well, let's see what they can get up to. And you're going to see, oh, Force Field drops down, and that's actually going to be one of the DTs blocked out. The Stalker's on hold position too, and with a shield battery, nothing will go down. Observer is about to show up. As soon as it does, PartinG loses the DTs, and then he's probably like, oh, that's not good. Loses one, the other one realizes what's up and backs away. Well, now if you look at the Phoenix count, it's 8 against 7, but PartinG is down to Stargate while still trying to build Phoenix. The DTs have not done anywhere near as much as he thought they should. Zest comes in, fights for a little bit, realizes maybe not quite the time just yet, but Zest just continues to put himself into such a great spot. This is crazy. This is just so... Zest is just actually masterclassing today's Kung Fu Cup. Like, I just point out Zest run through this bracket. Zest went 2-0 against Stats in the semifinals, 2-0 against Gumiho in the round of 8, 2-0 against Deer in the round of 16, and 2-0 against Innovation in the round of 32. And he's on the verge of 3-0 in PartinG to win it all. That is a hell of a run. That's maybe one of the best Kung Fu Cup runs we've seen. Almost flawless here. As you see a couple more Phoenix showing up. Ooh, a little bit back and forth again. There's only one Phoenix at a time from PartinG, who is going to go into a couple of Archons to try and help fight against those Phoenix. Two-1 versus... No, that is true. It was 2-1. My apologies. I was just reading off the bracket. Still a pretty darn good run. Couple of probes starting to go down. Phoenix will trade out a little bit here, and again, just trying to stay away Zest from any sort of Archons that might make complications in this. He goes for his own Dark Shrine. Oh my god, there's no detection up from PartinG. Imagine if Zest runs across the map with DTs and wins the game because there's no detection. Oh my god. Alright, so Phoenix sitting out in the center, and again another Archon morphing in, a couple more Zealots warping in too. I mean, this is a pretty decent push from PartinG, but he's got no detection against Dark Templar. Oh my god, Warp Prism going across the map, and it's just a ticking time bomb until PartinG is going to be like, no! Well, that said, he does have a Robo on the way up, so maybe his Robo just about comes up in time as well here. Here you go, there's Archon still coming across, and just going to be seeing... It's a little bit of an army sat out in the center of the map. A couple of DTs coming down the right. Phoenix going to go across the map as well. And Well, here you go. Probe's going to move in towards the third base mineral line. Phoenix into the main, and again, DTs are just going to, I mean, actually the DTs are just going to keep on moving forwards. Is there an observer here actually from Zest? If Zest had an observer here and sniped down the observer's opponent and let the DTs just do, you know, rage rampant, go rampant, that would have been crazy. But the observer does come out, but still going to take a little moment or two to actually clean up the DT in the main base, which is just picking off a bunch of probes. And Zest just seems to be getting further and further ahead off of all of this now. Phoenix trading out, but Zest has the better numbers there as well. 8 against 6 currently. PartinG will once again attempt to move across the map, but he has to make sure he brings the observer with him, because otherwise he's going to have some trouble if DTs get warped in defensively. Phoenix is going to intercept the other. Phoenix does an Archon underneath, which helps. It's still kind of nice here from Zest, who does get the majority of those. Only a couple left over, and again, Zest's army back at home is pretty sick itself. He doesn't have the +2 on the way like PartinG does, but he's got a good adept count. He's got a good few more Archons as well to help fight. Let's see how it goes. Again, we did see the Archons and how effective they can be. There's no Warp Prism to reinforce this, though, for PartinG. He's missing so much compared to what Zest had back in that game number 1, sorry, where Zest was looking like he might have been dead, but he was able to pull off a hold. Here we go. As you see the Archons pulling back, good micro so far. The Phoenix fly in just to, well, get rid of a couple Phoenix and probably lift up the Sentry or so. I mean, the Archons actually get rid of them so fast, but even just the Phoenix tanking some shots there goes a long way. And PartinG is falling now, 60 supply behind in total. The Depths want to shade on top of this. They want to take this fight. The Sentry goes down instantly. I mean, a little bit of Prism Micro will try and help, but it will just not be enough. Again, the Archons are very good, and they do very well against the Depths, but it's just not going to be enough against this much of an advantage that's already in play. All of these Archons are super low. There's not enough space in the Warp Prism to keep all of them alive here. There's the commitment to the shade forwards, and again, the Archons keep on dropping. PartinG has absolutely nothing left. Zest is looking to win the Kung Fu Cup number 24 after winning Kung Fu Cup number 2 and number 4 in the past. I think it's a conspiracy. But, yeah, I guess that's just me. As you see, the Observer is here, and the Observer will allow these DTs to get picked off as the Depths have already shaded up in towards the main base. They're going to get a couple of pylons here. Empowering Gateways, GG, and Zest was just too good.